welcome back to the UIA Trusted Partners Podcast. On today's episode, I've got a rather interesting episode. In fact, I have two different nonprofits coming together, and we're going to go through all the details here. But first, let's start with some introductions. First, we have Steph Dorwin with Max I. Walker and Sasha Burscheid, founder and president of Project Intentional. Ladies, how are we doing today?
Doing great.
Yeah, incredible.
Well, I'm so happy that you guys made some time out of your busy days to come on to the show and talk a little bit of, well, A, a little bit of nonprofit work here, and B, how we can kind of support and help get those gears rolling here for you. So let's dive right into it. For the listeners out there and our viewers in TV land here, can you give us an insight to what Max's Coats for Kids is and how long you've been serving the Omaha area?
So Max's Coats for Kids is a new initiative for Max I. Walker.
Okay.
This is the first year that we've done a coat drive, but Max I. Walker really does have a long family history of philanthropy in the community. So, for instance, we did a prom dress drive over the course of 15 years that ended up raising $200,000 for the local nonprofits. And then Max I. Walker, as a dry cleaning company, has served Omaha for over 100 years, since 1917, through 5 generations of the Walker family.
And you and I were talking a little bit off camera here. I'm like, Max I. Walker's going to have to get an episode unto themselves here just to kind of go through all the rich history, because there was 1,000 questions I could have led the show with here. So, yes, thank you again for having the time to come out here, because we're definitely going to have to sit back down
it's a cool company and a wonderful family.
It seems like it, and I'm too curious of a guy to let it go. So we'll have to reschedule another one for Max I. Walker. But Sasha, for the other half of my companions here today, what's Project Intentional and how long have you been servicing the Omaha area?
Project Intentional is a gift. It is just a vessel of love is really the best way for me to describe it. It's a nonprofit that was founded by myself and my family, but has been raised by the community. Like, it has just been matured by everyone's hands, and like I said, it's just a gift.
I love that. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was started back in about 2019?
So the idea came from a Facebook post in 2019, and it was established as a nonprofit in February of 2020, right before COVID.
Oh, yeah, just,
literally,
a lovely time to start things.
1 month before COVID.
It's funny, in the ironical sense that I actually also changed careers during COVID. I did it in October of 2020, though, so when everything was on fire. Yeah. I love that, and we'll kind of describe and kind of go through how much Project Intentional's been able to do since then. But I love asking this question to start. So this one is for both of you. You can each answer, whoever would like to go first, I suppose. I got to know, where's the calling and drive come from for this kind of passion for these nonprofits that you're both in?
I think it's in our DNA. When I met Steph, I said we're cut from the same cloth.
We had an instant connection.
What is insanely beautiful to me is that Steph will find opportunities to showcase other people and other nonprofits, and that is just such a rarity. And so I look at her like an earth angel, and I know that it's like very mutual, but when you find people who have the same heart, the same mission to just serve and love people and meet them where they are, man, how do you not hold hands with them?
That's a great question. I think if you're not holding that person's hand, you're blind to what you're doing.
You're not reaching your full potential.
Yeah, absolutely. And it takes a lot more than one set of hands to build what happens in today's world, especially with your guys' nonprofits. And again, same question kind of posed to you. I'd love to kind of get your take on that.
So I'll answer for myself personally,
sure,
and then I'll answer for Max I. Walker as
well.
Love that. So for myself personally, my husband was in the military. I've moved around a lot as an adult. I've lived in Omaha for 8 years, and this is the longest I've ever lived anywhere as an adult. And I have never felt connected to a community like I do here, and I just want to help. I couldn't imagine doing it any other way. Of what is there I can do? Where can I go? Where can I be of service? Where can I contribute to lift people up, to build people up?
Yeah, I love that because projects and initiatives and nonprofits and foundations that are founded from passion exude passion. And I am a sucker for that. I'm a magnet for it. So I feed off of that passion as well. I love it. You said you wanted to iterate where Max I. Walker comes from as well.
So fortunately, the company I work for really kind of gives me carte blanche to do that.
Love that.
So being in like dry cleaning and laundry in that industry, a clothing related philanthropy just makes so much sense for Max I. Walker. I mentioned earlier that we had done the prom dress project where we cleaned prom dresses and then we sold those and donated the profits. And this family, the Walker family, who's owned this company for 5 generations, they've always just had such a strong desire to give back to the community. And that's really been sort of just woven into the culture of the company because of the personal values of the family. And, you know, we've done some various iterations of clothing drives over the years. And then Max's Coats for Kids is just the newest project that we're working on.
Yeah, I love it.
We chose kids and we chose coats because it just makes sense. And it's so important for kids to have coats in Nebraska in the winter.
Yeah, and in case anybody forgets, winter for us is like 8 months. So, yeah, we kind of have to have those sort of things. Sasha, couldn't help you. You got a little emotional during it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a very passionate subject, and it's a tough subject, too. It's the same regard here. So I do have to give you a bit of credit, first and foremost, before we continue on for our questions here, because it takes a special kind of person to handle the, we'll say, stress that comes with a nonprofit of your degree and your nature. So hats off to you for everything you've been able to do thus far. Yeah, I need my little applause button.
Yeah, thank you.
No, of course, because
I forgot we were on a podcast, so I'm over here like holding back my tears and like doing hand gestures.
No, it's okay. It's okay because again, it's a powerful subject. It's a powerful topic, and it unfortunately, I always say that nonprofits are almost the biggest double edge in the world. We have to have them, but the ultimate goal is for them to go away. Yeah. And that's kind of the ultimate take on it.
And as passionate as you are, it can wear on you too.
It can.
And you have to support yourself, and you have to have support around you.
100%.
Know your boundaries.
100%.
You have to know your boundaries.
Yeah, and you learn the hard way sometimes.
And you learn the hard way. You really do.
I think as everybody who's passionate about what they do and dives wholehearted into something, unfortunately, we all have to learn the hard way at some point that you gotta healthily pull back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So back into our questions a little bit here. Steph, we're gonna start with you. Starting on August 1st, coats can be donated at 10 different Max I. Walker locations. What are some of the most needed coat sizes that we can push for? And maybe that's a both of you question.
Yeah, so my best guess, since this is kind of a new project for us, is from what I know about kids, it's going to be probably those upper elementary age and middle school kids. That's going to be like a youth size large or a 10-12 or youth extra large, which is a 16-18. So kids at that age, they just grow so fast. Some kids at that age may need 2 coats through the winter because the one they start out with won't fit them by the end of the winter.
Yeah, I remember when I was kind of about that age. I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm about 6'2" anyway. I was 6'2" by the time I hit like 6th grade.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I grew like a bean sprout. Unfortunately, I feel bad for my parents having to buy those things constantly. And fortunately, I had an older brother who I fit a lot of his clothes until I got to that 6 foot point.
And then the other thing that I just would love everyone to remember is if you're going to donate a coat, Coats for Kids also includes teenagers. And teens wear adult size.
Yes, they do.
So we will absolutely take any size coat from infant size through adult sizes. And a kid can have a coat that's a little big and it's not a big deal and they can kind of grow into it. So those adult sizes could last a kid who's still growing maybe a winter or 2.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great point out as well. Sasha, anything to add to that before I move into our next question or any other coat sizes that jump out to mind?
No, I always just tell people when it comes to sizes for socks, coats, anything like that, all sizes, all sexes.
Yeah.
We need to provide for a person in our community asking for help. We need to have that.
Can be anybody.
Anybody.
Yeah, so that's what we're here for out there in viewership land. Of course, the link for both the Coats for Kids drive and, of course, for Project Intentional are going to be in the description of this episode that you're currently watching right now. So you can click right on there and see what we're talking about. You can see ways to donate and you can see places to go stop by. Now, Sasha, into my next question here for you. I love the timeline of Project Intentional from 2019 to now. I have to reiterate this because I watched through the website kind of how it's progressed and evolved and changed a little bit. And maybe that's just me because I like to do my homework and I like to deep dive on things. But I'm very curious because, of course, I can't ever get this answer from a web page. What's been one of the biggest eye-openers to you when you started this project? And what's the difference to then of when you started it to how it runs today?
Yeah, that is so multifaceted. The biggest thing that I have learned is that we are just the vessel, and that when you are a vessel, you need to know your boundaries. Mm-hmm. And that you might think that something's going to look one way, and there are bigger plans for you and for your community, and you just need to trust your intuition and your guidance, and that the people that you think will show up for you probably will not, but God will give you support through strangers, and if He wants to see something done, He will make sure that it gets done.
I like that. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I am also a little curious here for you, just because I noticed on the website last year looks like maybe a break. So coming back into it this year,
Yes.
I'm curious, and for those who maybe they missed out on a year, so now they're like, oh, this is a brand new thing to them.
Yeah.
Let's dive into it. For those of us who don't know about the project, how does it work?
Sure.
What are some of the things you're looking for, and
Sure.
what can we do to help?
Okay, yeah, so last July 29th, so almost a year ago today, we'll be celebrating it tomorrow. My friend died by suicide.
I'm sorry to
and
hear
it
that.
caused me it just shook me to my core, because I'm working full-time at corporate America. I am wearing all these hats and I've spread myself so thin, and here's my 4:30 gym buddy who I will never see again. And at that moment, I literally just paused everything. And what I kept hearing was like, if it's needed, people will fill the gap. And they did. People created holiday stores last year, and they took, our idea and momentum and really helped support the community. So while I watched that and I felt sad that I wasn't a part of it, I was so incredibly proud of our city. It was so bold, and they saw it, they seized the opportunity, and by doing that, you guys think we're doing a big grandiose holiday party in December, but we're not, and we're not releasing the dates yet, but everything that we had, we're doing so intentionally. Why would we give coats out in the middle of December? Well, that doesn't make sense. So then we need to push up our dates more. And, there are so many different things, and there will be a press release about our event, but we're getting very granular. We're getting very intentional. And in the past, it was like a free-for-all.
Kind of
tickets.
flyby.
Yeah, it was and tickets and stuff. But this year, there'll be an application.
Love that.
And the end isn't getting told yet, but I'm telling you that if you thought what we did in the past was cool, boy howdy. Yeah.
We've got some fun, exciting news coming up a little bit later this year. Of course, I can't be privy to everything, even though I would love to debut everything on the show. I can't. But no, I love that big things are in the works, big things are waiting to be announced. I love that. Again, thank you again, too, for sharing just a brief iteration into the life of Sasha here. And picking back up. I think that's a tip of the hat that sometimes kind of goes by the wayside, because it's hard to get back into something, especially after something like that.
But when you're called, you can't
ignore it.
Can't ignore it. And it was not a calling for corporate America anymore. And so is there a leap of faith? Yeah, but if you are not doing what you're called to do, God will shake your world. I'm sorry for those of you who, if you're non-denominational or you're not into this, it's fine. But I am, and I have to speak on it because it is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Is just my calling, and I've been told that this is just the ministry. This is what we're doing, and this is my time. If I am not shaken, I will not move. I was moved, I was shaken, and now I'm here.
And now we're here. I like that. And hey, everybody's free to their own opinions on this show and their own beliefs. So there's nothing wrong about that at all.
Thank you.
Of course. Now, gonna flip back over on the other side of the table here, Steph, because I am a little curious here. I'm sure this is a question you probably get a lot. Why is Max I. Walker teaming up with Project Intentional with Max's Coats for Kids? I know you kind of touched on it in the beginning of like, well, we know a good organization when we see it. Is there any personal reason behind it, or is there just a you know what, I just had the idea?
So, I mean, Sasha and I have known each other for a few years now, and somehow we just keep showing up at the same places and seeing each other. And so, like we said earlier, we've had a connection from the beginning. From the first time, it was like kismet that we kind of ran into each other. And I think it took a little while to gather some momentum, but the more we started just seeing each other and how much overlap there is, I think we just couldn't ignore it anymore.
Well, divine intervention.
Yeah. So personally, I know Sasha. I admire her very much. And so that as soon as we decided at Max I. Walker that we were going to do a coat drive, I already knew Project Intentional would be the recipient of our coats.
I love that.
I knew we had taken a break last year, and so my fingers were crossed that it was going to start back up, which fortunately it is. But it's because I believe in this organization and I believe in Sasha. Her passion to make a meaningful impact and support vulnerable communities is just unmatched from anyone I've ever met in my life otherwise. I know she's never going to give up on her calling. I have this written down in my answers that I put together before we came in here, and she talked about her calling. And Max I. Walker and I are both honored to just contribute to the progress that Project Intentional is intentionally bringing to our community.
I love that, and I love that it's all passion here on the other side of the table, feeding back towards myself. Again, I know the passion exudes. It makes interviews not tough, but it makes interviews more meaningful, in my opinion, when emotion's been able to be shared, when emotion is currently flowing as well. So just a thank you for being able to be open about this sort of thing is a big milestone.
I knew I was going to cry pretty much during the entire time, because this is the first time that I'm publicly coming back, like in using my voice. And I was afraid to use my voice in the past, because I didn't know how. So taking the break allowed me to really collect and figure out who I am and who I'm called to be. So when I was driving here, I was like, I wonder how many minutes in you're gonna last, girlfriend.
You know what? That's how you know it's all from a place of heart and passion, that you just can't hold the emotion back. So I love it, and thank you again for not only sharing that level of emotion, but announcing that you're back here on the show.
Yeah,
I am appreciative.
You guys are doing it.
You are, and I'm so appreciative and honored that I'm the vessel that you're saying, hey, we are back, high fives around. It is time to get back on the train here. So,
you know, I've told her this before. Her willingness to be vulnerable gives the rest of us permission to do so, because you might be afraid, what if people judge me? What if people think I'm too emotional or too much, or I feel too deeply? But she just leans into it, and that's the thing that I admire about her, because it gives me permission to be my own self, because I'm so similar. But I've been afraid to be like that.
No, I completely understand that. I, not too long ago, I had a friend of the show, the Collective Hope. Had to think of the organization's name there. Yep, I had Cliff on the show. Love Cliff, and that was such a fun episode in the weirdest way, right? Because I mean, everybody, he really is. And when people look into Project or the Collective Hope, and they kind of see what it's about, you wouldn't really think it'd be a fun episode by any means. No, but it is. It's very heavy, but he broke it down in such a way and allowed vulnerability where it needed to be, that it made it such an enticing episode for myself to go back and watch. I hardly ever go back and watch my own episodes because, hey, I got that face for radio. I don't like to see it. So, it just was really impactful. And I think this is one of those episodes I'm probably going to end up revisiting as well. Because, Sasha, I have to know, too, just so I can keep my questions rolling, I suppose. I saw something on the website called Hope Lockers. I'm so curious what those are and how we, the community, not only can help be a partner, but potentially donate into those.
We started this initiative in 2023. And there wasn't much structure behind it. It was just, there's a need, and we need to fill it. We need to figure out how to fill it. And this time around, we're being, again, a lot more intentional. This is my full-time job now. So
Love that.
I am pouring my energy and my time into this. And right now, there's one Hope Locker. We are partnered with Momentum, with Meredith Metcalf, and they have a caring closet, and anyone can go. It's free to the community, open. And inside of our Hope Locker, inside of her closet, is just hygiene products. We've heard from leadership from other nonprofits. They're even asking us to expand from hygiene products to cleaning products and tissue products. So I always like to ask people, and I'm going to ask you this morning, did you think twice about your deodorant?
Nope.
Okay, so there are families in our backyard, in our neighborhood, who's has to pick between getting deodorant and being able to send their children to school with proper hygiene or paying their electric bill. And that shouldn't happen to our neighbors. So if you are looking for a way to be able to tangibly purchase something, hygiene products, paper products, cleaning products, and right now to cut out the middleman, let's just go to Momentum and let's pack the closet there, because like it's not necessarily the what nonprofit are you supporting? It's no, you guys, it's one city. Yeah. We're all loving and helping one community. And so that's how you can help, is support us, is by also staying up to date with Momentum, and we're being very intentional. That'll be our main first hub. Once we perfect the recipe for the Hope Lockers, they will be spread accordingly throughout Omaha.
I love that, and I think it's such a great idea, especially kind of expanding that a little bit, because a lot of those things I don't think people pay attention to. Like you had said, hey, did you pay attention to your deodorant? Probably not. Hey, did you pay attention when you were cleaning the house last weekend? Probably not. But those are great points to bring up for people. That at least gives people a moment to step back and reflect. A little curious, of course, we can go find Max I Walker on Facebook. I saw them there for sure. Anywhere else we can find Max I Walker, let alone Max's Coats for Kids, and then how do we find Project Intentional as well?
So Max I Walker is on Facebook. We also are on LinkedIn. Max I Walker Uniform Rental, that's the other division of our company, has a LinkedIn page. So if people are already on those platforms, they can start seeing information about Max's Coats for Kids once we officially launch on August 1st. And then you can also find information on our website at maxiwalker.com. We'll be collecting coats August 1st through October 31st. Max I Walker will donate laundry services for all those coats unless they're brand new. And so we ask for gently used or new coats.
Okay.
And we'll make sure they're all clean and ready to go for some kiddos.
Fantastic. Where can we find Project Intentional?
So before I say that, may I tell you a really cool story?
You absolutely
about
can.
Max I Walker.
You absolutely
She
can.
has no idea that I'm going to be saying this.
Even better.
Correct. So my husband he's not the maid of honor. Come on, help me out here.
The group.
Oh, the best man?
There we go. Maid of honor. Whatever.
We're the guy of honor.
Yeah, the guy of honor. So my husband was the guy of honor. And he went to get his tux dry cleaned, and he forgot, because of like just the commotion, to pick it up.
Oh no.
And I don't even know if you know this, but you unlocked the door for us.
Yeah, I didn't know you at the time. It was before you.
It was on a Sunday. The doors were closed.
Afternoon or Sunday or
the doors were closed.
Wild.
And here's this woman who is just happy to help on her day off. I'm like messaging her like, you don't like, she's like, no, it's not a problem. It's totally fine. I'm happy to help. And so like, first impression of Stephanie, first impression of Max I Walker, wow.
Yeah, I think that's quite a good impression to start off everything. It's like, oh, hey, my husband, kind of left this here.
But there she was, the hero. And the ways to find us are just Project Intentional. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and also on LinkedIn.
And hey, guess what, viewers? You can find all of our episodes on those same 3 platforms, as that's our consistent posting platforms as well. So be sure, if you see those episodes tagged for either one of these organizations, be sure to share them. I know it doesn't sound like I know it sounds like a tall ask out there in viewer land, but every share counts. Yes. Gotta love those algorithms. So, besides my objective view against the algorithms here, I'm a little curious because you guys, being organizations that you are, there are certain things that you do to impact the community, certain things to bring the community together. In that light, is there any events that we can plan on attending to help support?
Yes. So, as I had mentioned in the past, we have hosted the Winter Wonderland Emporium Holiday Store, which is no more.
Okay, I didn't know that was no more.
It has been renamed.
Okay.
And it will be revamped.
Okay.
But we are calling it the Love Can Store.
Like that. That's a little easier to roll off the tongue.
And it pays homage to our churches here in Omaha back in 2017 led this huge initiative where they all came together. And they rented out a bay in the mall. And they called it the Love Can Store. And every church was a part of it. And you could just go visit the bay. And it made such an impact to me. But we're going to be hosting this event in I'm not saying the date yet, but at Baxter, to be released. Yes. At Baxter Arena, we will have over 75 nonprofits, professional resources, and other services like job hosting. So if you are wanting or looking to employ, we would love to have you there. And at the end of it, there's a big surprise. Every family that is getting sponsored this year will receive coats, socks, hygiene products, and again, the surprise that'll be at the end. And this is just a way to potentially even help families not even have to go to a holiday store in December and have a coat before the holidays in the winter. And just, instead of giving handouts, we want to give a very intentional envelope welcoming up into our community.
Yeah, I love that. And I know you can't give us any dates, times, or days just yet, but hey, that's why those links are in the description. You can stay up to date with these wonderful, wonderful organizations. Any events on the Max Coats for Drives or just kicking things off in August here?
Just the coat drive.
All right.
August 1st through October the 31st.
Always have to ask. I don't want to leave you shortcomings there or leave you short off there.